Today I'm going to be making okra soup. It's one of my favorite soups. It's so easy to make and it's something that my kids love, so I love making this, and it's perfect for weeknights because it doesn't take too much time, especially if you prep your meat the day before. So let me show you guys the ingredients we need and then we're going to start cooking. You need a 1/3 cup of red palm oil. You need 1/2 cup of chopped onion, a 1/3 cup of coarsely ground crayfish. Ground crayfish is fine as well. You need some salt and 2 seasoning cubes, or what we call Maggi or stock cubes. Right here I have broth that I got from boiling the meats that I'm going to be using in this okra soup. Then these are the meats I'm going to be using. I have oxtail here, I have a little bit of goat meat and cow leg or foot cow. That's how we call it, and that's just because I have these at home, and I want to show you guys that it doesn't have to be like meat that you bought just for the soup. If you have any leftover meat or beef, you could definitely use it in your okra soup. But all together here I have about 3 pounds of meat. So I would say you need 3 to 4 pounds of meat, and you could use any meat you like. You could use beef, you could use smoked turkey, smoked chicken, sometimes even chicken, even though it's not so popular to cook okra soup with chicken, but trust me, it does work. So just use the meats that you love and just boil them with some salt, with some stock cubes and a little bit of onion until they are nice and tender. That's it. Right here I have 4 ounces of smoked fish. Some of you get confused when I say ounces. This is just about 1.5 cups of smoked fish, and I took out all the bones, or most of the bones, as much as I could take out. Right here I have 5 ounces of just spinach leaves. Then right here I have 1 pound of okra. So you can see that I cut my okra into slices, and in this video I'm going to be saying okra and okra a lot because where I come from we say okra, right? But in America they say okra or something like that. So anyway, this is my okra that I just cut into circles. I'm going to break it down a little bit more before using it in the soup, and I'll show you guys how I do that. So I just got out some habanero pepper for some heat, but I'm not going to be breaking this pepper down because I don't want the soup to be too hot since my kids can't take so much heat. I'm going to be putting them whole in the soup. So I'm going to set my pot here on high heat. Then I'll add in the palm oil. Red palm oil is filled with nutrients and sustainably farmed. I know some people get worried when they hear palm oil. I'm just going to let that heat up a little, then I'm going to saute the onion. The oil heated up for about 3 minutes and it's time to add the onion. Now we are going to saute the onions until nice and translucent, just for about 2 minutes. Starting this way is going to ensure that the okra soup has lots of good flavor from the sauteed onions, the palm oil. It also helps to kind of cook the raw taste out of the palm oil. This is a good start. So I've sauteed the onions and the oil for just about 1 minute. Now I'm going to add in the crayfish, and again stirring the crayfish in the oil is going to yield so much flavor, but you don't want to stir it too long. In fact I'm reducing my heat right now. I've reduced my heat so that the crayfish doesn't burn, because these can burn so fast when you stir it in oil. It has released a really nice aromatic flavor that I wish you guys could smell. Now I'm going to add the meat. So without wasting any time, I'll just add the meat so you can stop that crayfish from burning, like that. Then I'll add the meat stock, enough stock to the same level as the meat, like that. I have a lot of meat stock, so I'm going to use this to make other meals. Add a little bit more, like that, and I'll keep the meat stock standby just in case I feel like I need it as I cook. So I'm going to bring this to a simmer. So I'm just spooning some of that glorious liquid over the meat so that they can get some of that flavor. Okay, now it's already come to a simmer, so I'm going to add in the smoked fish. I see a bone there that I missed. And I'm just setting the heat at medium because I don't want it to splatter. So So I'm going to lightly break down the okra in my blender in little bits. I don't want to grind this into a paste or anything close to a paste because I love my okra soup to be to have some texture. I'm going to make it to just break it down so it's nice and coarse. Sometimes I'll do this on a chopping board just with my knife. I'm going to blend it a few seconds at a time. So I'm going to touch the button, let it go, touch it, let it go, because if I just keep my hand on there, it's going to blend it into a paste, and that's not what I'm going for. So that's the texture that you're going for, and it's okay if you still have some circles in there. So I'm going to chop the spinach as well. I'll just give it a nice rough chop. I'm going to add the habanero pepper, so it has a little time to soften up. And I'm leaving the stem on. Yes, sometimes I get this question from people who don't understand, or maybe in your country you never put pepper in the pot without taking off the stem or grinding it. I'm from Cameroon, and sometimes we put our pepper whole just to soften it up, and those who want that extra heat in their food can press their own pepper onto their food. Okay, so that's why the pepper has the stem on. I think we're going to need a little bit more stock because that is a little thick, and when the okra gets in, it's going to get even thicker. So I'll add a little bit more stock. Then I'm going to taste it. I want to make sure that the seasoning is right, and it's just a little bit more salty than I want it to be before the okra gets in, because when the okra gets in, it's definitely going to dilute the seasoning. So I've not put in any salt up to this point because our stock had salt and seasoning cubes, so I wanted to make sure that I wasn't over salting it. Now that I've tasted it, it needs a little bit of salt, so I'll add in just a little bit of salt. Then I'm going to add in the seasoning cubes. Now I'm going to add in the okra. Yay! Going to mix that in carefully. Being careful not to over break up the smoked fish. Oops. I should note that my heat is on medium, or my heat is on medium at this point, and that's the thickness of the soup. At this point, you know, if you want it lighter, you could definitely add water, but you know, I think I'm going to leave it as is. My mouth is watering, you guys. Okay, now for those who are not familiar with okra soup like this, West African okra soup, you know, different countries cook it in different ways, but there's one thing that's common with okra soup: it's slimy. And for us, it's not something that is off-putting just because this is how we grew up eating it. And a lot of people, even in fact, some people want it to be very slimy. And I never let my okra to cook for long because it's a vegetable. I want it to still have a vibrant green color to it. I don't want it to be overcooked until it's brown. No, you just kill the okra when you do that. So we are almost done here. So I'm going to give it a taste at this point because it's almost done. Perfection. Oh my god, I wish you guys could taste it. Now I'm going to add in the spinach. It's literally going to disappear. And the okra has only been in the pot for about 2 to 3 minutes, you guys, on a steady medium-high heat. It has cooked well for me because
Once you overcook it, you lose the nutrients.
Medium high, medium high.
Medium high, it's like medium but a little bit higher than medium. But it's not like high heat. Add the spinach and it's just going to disappear. You guys know spinach. Just once the heat touches the spinach, it's going to bow. Okay, so I'm using spinach because that's what's available. But when I was growing up, my mom would use a leaf called okra because it goes good with okra. And sometimes people put even things like bitter leaf in their okra soup or okra with egusi soup. You know, some kind of green leaf. That's just for more nutrients. And some people don't, and that's okay too. We use spinach in America just because it's the one vegetable that you can use to substitute a lot of other African vegetables that you would use in recipes. So it's very versatile. It doesn't have a strong, overwhelming taste that will interfere with the taste of your food. And it's loaded with nutrients. So friends, okra soup is ready. Look at that. Look at that. That's our okra soup with some oxtails, some smoked fish, a little bit of goat meat, and a little bit of food cow. And it smells amazing. It looks amazing. I cannot wait to dig in, you guys. I made some white garri. This goes good with different kinds of fufu. Cannot wait to dig in, you guys. Fufu and okra or garri and okra. So good. So flavorful. The crayfish gives it a nice umami. It is so hearty, you guys. Oh my goodness, so good. Feels so hot. I just need to go sit down right now with my plate of okra and my garri and just sit down and eat and enjoy my life. So I'm going to have to stop this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. That's how you make delicious okra soup. Let me know down below, how do you like your okra soup, with garri or with fufu, or how do you enjoy your okra soup? Leave a comment down below and let me know, and I'm going to see you guys in my next video. Bye.